Hello, this is a update on the board that I've been designing for this digital controller. This is just kind of like the controller, and these are the outputs of it. But the board I'm designing is actually it goes between these. And what my board does is it takes this input, which is that FT32H board, and it breaks it out. And I have 4 bits going into this buffer. I have the other 4 bits going into this buffer. Now with this, I have more outputs than I would normally have. It's a 3 to 8 decoder on both outputs. So I have the output up here will be D0 to D7. The output down here will be D8 to D15. And I have it where I have 4 bits going in on each of these. And then I have it where I can switch between manual input, which will be a rotary switch and a button, and also a rotary switch and a button here, or I can have the computer interface. So the board that I'm designing, it looks like this. This is this would be the assembly drawing of it with the layout. This is the actual board that I haven't had it built yet, but I've sent it off where they've given me they've told me how much it would cost for me to build 5 boards, which is around $100. So anyway, this is the schematic for it. All it is a decoder and encoder. It has encoder and decoder. So these are just basically NAND gates here. This is a buffer on the input, and this is the decoder on the output. And then the same thing here, more NAND gates here, a buffer for the input, and decoder on the output. That's basically it for the board that I want to design. I know it's going to work because I've already tested it. But the software looks like this. Now my board, it basically goes between the two, so I can show you that it works. Something else I've done with this actually is I've added something to the software. I mean, there's more lines to the code than there was before. Originally, I'd gotten it all the way down to about 100 lines of code, and then I started adding more stuff to it. I'm still going to test the code, the software, and stuff to make sure that it works well. But there's only about 300 lines of code, and that's where the code ends right there. This is kind of a little comment I like to put in here. I think that's kind of funny, but it's not really funny. But I keep waiting for someone to tell the truth, and nobody will tell the truth. So I sit here waiting. Anyway, I'm going to start this. I'm going to show you what I've added to this software, because the software is actually pretty cool at this point for somebody who wants to use it for home use. Another thing is you don't have to use relays. There's a way to do this with MOSFETs. Someone had told me that once before. I'll get into that in a few minutes. So basically, I'll show you it works. I'll go ahead and change the selection here. So you see that one works. That one works. I'll go ahead and put this one on D. So that one works on D. And I'll put this one on D. Works on D. And I'll say no selection. No selection. Now here's what's really cool that I added to this. I can edit the INI file because it's loading from an INI file now. This is what's in the INI file. So let's say I want to change some of the inputs. I'm just going to set this down because I don't need this to show you. Let's just say I want to use it as a guitar. We'll say rhythm guitar. I'm not really good at spelling. Let's say that. I'm just going to copy this. I'll say write data. Maybe I want that as rhythm guitar too. Maybe I want this one as a lead guitar. And maybe this would be bass guitar. Now, sometimes I have different vocal inputs. Vocal mic 1. I'll go and copy that so I could just paste it. The next one. And this would be vocal mic 2. Maybe this would be drums. And I don't know. I don't know what I would use that one for. But now I've labeled these. Now when I go back to this, go back to the controller, Look, it's labeled them up here for me. I'm going to make it where it labels these as well, the selections. It'll change. It'll change this. I can do that. It's just I don't have a lot of time at the moment. Um, so I gone ahead and labeled that. Also, something I'm going to do is get rid of this part down here, where I don't have all this, because that's just for me. It's for me while I'm designing software. But I'll run this again, just show you it's still working. So say, see, so it'd be better if I had the lead guitar in here, bass guitar in here. So I'm going to add that in later today, maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. But you can see it still works. It's doing just fine. I'll put this on A now, and I'll say no selection, B, no selection. I mean, you can use this for anything you want to. Let's say you have it's a test at work or something, or you're turning something on. So pump 1, pump 2. See, it's easy to do that. And then when I go back here to the controller, now it's got the pumps on there. So that, like I said, it'd be easy if I just did that little note. But you can change it for anything you want. If you don't like what you have here, you can go back to default settings. And now when I go back here to the controller, now it's back to default. Now it's a INI file that I'm writing to, and I'll show you that. So I'll just put this on this guitar 1, and I'll say this is drums, like that. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stop it. I'm going to restart, and you're going to see that the software actually loads it. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I actually did right. I'm also going to get rid of these controls up here. Controller. There we go. I'm going to get rid of these tabs up here so you can't see them. But now when I restart this and start the software back up again, it's going to read from the INI file, and it's going to load the default settings from an INI file. And I'll show you the INI file just so you can see, the format of the INI file. But it loads it from beginning. To find the INI file, let's see if I can do this from over here. Sometimes it takes a long time for this software to do what I want it to do. But here it goes. This computer runs very slow. That's the problem with this computer. It's very old. I bought it for Alice Saxon, my mother, when I was still working at Intel Corporation. I bought this for many years ago. It's really old. It's really slow. It takes a long time for this thing to work. You can see it's not responding now because all I want to do is go look at a folder. The problem is there's probably something running in the background as well that I don't know about. That kind of stuff happens. So I guess I won't show the INI file, and I'll just go right into this other part of it. The board, the way it's interconnected right now, like I said, the relay boards, I've already shown you this. I did some, research. I found out which pins I need to use. I would recommend using this board instead of the other, but I've made it where I can use both if I want to. This is the actual way I have it wired together. So you can look at that. You can use it that way if you wanted to use it in that form or fashion. If you're using both of these, then you would wire like this instead of, these relay 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. The relays would go up here in that order. Then your power and ground would be like that because it'd be the same 2 boards twice. But that's how that is laid out, stuff like that. What I just showed you is what I would have done if I used as an audio controller. Go ahead and close that. Let's see if I can go back to this and open. There it goes. So I'll open. I'll just copy the path. Yeah, I'll just have to copy the path. Open, copy full path, and I'll just go here and that. And I want to show you the INI file that I'm using. So I loaded it inside of here. It's inside the debug folder, and it's right inside here. And this is what the INI folder looks like. So you can see it changed it and modified it. right here. Actually, be guitar one and drums one. So you can see that it modifies the INI file. Anyway, that's that part of it. Now, what instead of using relays, someone had told me this many years ago. His name is William Bartol. This is him right here. Um, I'll make this large so you can see his face much better. William Bartol, he had told me, he was trying to find out how they was able to switch things, and make conduction on different parts, like with LabVIEW, because it was instead of hearing relays click, it was selecting which output you wanted. And what he was told by somebody was, they had been doing it for years with transistors, but there was like a 0.6 volt loss in transistors. And they said MOSFETs didn't have any loss at all. You just turn it on, and it uses a switch. So whatever's, at the source ends up at the drain. So I'm going to try this with MOSFETs next. Bill Barthold, he actually admitted that he tried to do this. His eyes were blackened. They were black, and he told me some bulldog come running out of the back and beat him down. I heard the story for three people. I heard it from William Bartol. I heard it from Han Wong, who is my ex-girlfriend, and I heard it from Shane Hawley. Shane Hawley said he was the bulldog that went and beat Bill Bartol down and stopped him from trying to rape Han Wong in a post office shower in Austin, Texas. Shane Hawley also told me it was the Carter County, Oklahoma police, some of them, that drove him to Austin, Texas to show him what it was like to be a hero. In return, what they did was they set Shane Hawley up. They put him in prison for many years on something in which Shane Hawley, he didn't do. What happened was someone went over, held a gun on Shane Hawley, made him take drugs. And then Shane Hawley, he did talk dirty to the person, but so did the dad, and so did the person who held the gun on Shane Hawley to get him high. He made sure Shane Hawley got high. And what Shane told me was the guy said something like, "We're not going to make you overdose. We're not going to kill you. We just want to see you get high." So they made Shane Hawley shoot up and get high. Then they arrested him for it many years later, or several, I don't know when, it was sometime later. They arrested Shane Hawley for that. But he spent all this time in prison. He's probably still in there right now because the Carter County police have a conspiracy against Shane Hawley, April Finnerty, which is used to be April Hawley, and Jolene Walker, and me, Brett Finnerty. They don't want anybody to know the truth about, what happened on Red Cedar Road with April Hawley and the Carter County, Oklahoma police force with Tommy Duncan, Kelly Smith's dad, Detective Smith, and the Carter County Police, Harvey Burkhart, and all those people. Jim Conway, whose family is law enforcement, and Jared Hawley, who I had heard at one time his family was part of law enforcement too. This person, Delfino Sandoval, I remember someone saying he attacked Ernestina Cruz inside the Palmer Lane Tavern. I also heard he raped Robert Alexander's daughter, his 15-year-old daughter, while he was trying to teach Robert Alexander's daughter to be an engineer. And it was in Robert Alexander's own house. But Robert Alexander had said something like he could not have Dirty Delfino Sandoval arrested because the conspiracy, the police would have to admit the conspiracy they have against Brett Finnerty's life if they were to arrest Delfino Sandoval. So this rapist is out there running free because the police don't want to tell the truth about a conspiracy in which they have against my life. So they're letting rapists, murderers, and liars and thieves run free instead of putting them in jail so they can protect the Carter County, Oklahoma police. What else do I have here? Is that it? Oh, you can look for more of this stuff on this website right here. Here's this advertisement for me to get some people arrested, investigate for what they've done. What else do I have down here? I think that's about it. And just remember, these are the engineers who are making this kind of technology.
Next tonight into that question I mentioned, is your TV watching and listening to you? New smart TVs with internet connections able to transmit your private conversations. Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. A warning tonight, straight out of Minority Report. How does it sort of...
Now just remember, this was 11 years ago. Look how long they've conspired against my life. The year is now 2026. Everyone knows Dale Earnhardt Sr. faked his death February 18, 2001. And that's when they started doing all this really bad stuff to him. They used defamation of character upon my name to where no one in the world will ever help me. That's your police that did this.